I started also remember more and more from my past lives, from my past afterlife, means lives between physical lives, and also from parallel lives, and some beings like dragons. But
Like
this is another story.
like dragons?
Yes, let dragons.
Okay, my friends, here we are today. We're with Zoltan Fabian. Zoltan has had a lot of spiritual and mystical experiences, and he's going to tell us a little bit about some of those today, and we're going to go wherever the Spirit leads us. I'd like to welcome you, Zoltan, and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got what led up to your spiritual awakening or whatever you might want to call it at some point, and we'll go from there.
Thank you. So, my mystical experiences started with my birth because from my childhood, and I have memories from past lives, afterlife, and parallel lives. But those memories were unconscious and more in the form of unconscious intuition. It means feelings and the form of some visions.
Okay.
At first, especially very strong were my memories about Atlantis. I heard many people same thing to say because Atlantis was very important stage in humankind evolution, and too many people have memories from that period. So it is written in the Earth energetic field, and many people can unconsciously read it or remember those period. So I was not sure what is it about because when I was child, it was an era of socialism, and it was era of materialism and atheism. In my case, I was grew up in Slovakia, which was part of Soviet Union. So, so it was really challenging to handle such information without background around me and without knowledge from the people or from books, because those books were banned and people were arrested when tried to speak about this topic.
Wow.
So it
Yeah.
was really hard to make. And what is related, for example, that when I was 5, I was very happy when I could say with could speaking with my friends about God, about creation, about metaphysical things. And in this case, they visited me at home. I was living in a house, so we are speaking about such things, of course, 5 years old level. So it was like fantasy movies, but it was really interesting. And when this word was heard by my father, he got very rude and very nervous because he was afraid of me, because in the era for this information or this speaking, it was very hard to speak out loud or freely.
So he was afraid that the authorities would come and
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
give you trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So he was he told me out loud that I have to stop this meaningless speaking, and I cannot speak about it anymore. I didn't know that, but when I grew up and reached the age of 35, I had a session with a clairvoyant who led me with regression therapy to the past. And instead to the past, I went to this point of my 5 years age old self, and I saw this event with my own eyes, and it was really strange to see. And I could understand the meaning of this, but this one small thing caused that from the age of 5, I started to forget everything, and I didn't remember what was in my mind from the period from afterlife. So this information was so-called cleared. And I've got back this information after my 35.
After age
So this was,
35?
yes.
Okay.
So this is such a experience about regression therapy.
Did it come back? Oh, it came back through regression therapy?
Yes.
Okay. Did it come back kind of all at once in a regression, or did it take several regressions, or?
It was part of my other information because I started my inner journey in 35 because this clairvoyant, what I mentioned, gave me two very special and important information which I had known previously, and I didn't know this is so important for my awakening.
Okay, so you really didn't start digging into it until you were about 55. Is that what you were saying?
35. 35.
Oh, 35.
Yeah, 35.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Before that, it was unconscious, random experience and random feelings and intuition and some visions. But those visions were not connected, and I didn't understand the context and relations. And when I started, at first, I started with energy meditation on chakras. So I'm used the energy from the higher realms, and those energies flow through me through chakras. And I use the colors of chakras, and I started to feel changes in me. So I continue this special energy meditation, and after a month, started to see in my visions and inner feelings, I started to see another types of special spiritual energy meditations, and I started to make these new meditations, which comes to me from my inner self.
Wow.
And the interesting thing was that I read many books, hundreds of esoteric and spiritual books, but I didn't found such information there. And after a month, started to come to me informations which were not written to any book, and it started to reveal to me the context of our creation. Each level of our creation comes to me energy, spiritual beings like ascended masters, angels, and other beings. And I started to feel it because I was born like empathetic, but I didn't use this ability a lot. And this was changed in this year when I was 35. It was in 2003. And by these meditations and especially spiritual energy work, which changed everything, I started also remember more and more from my past lives, from my past afterlife, means lives between physical lives, and also from parallel lives.
Wow.
But those informations were so strong that I had too many mentality and special techniques to make it and process it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Did it take a while for you to really process some of this stuff, and did it seem overwhelming at some point?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And so tell us a little bit about one of your past lives that you feel is one of the more important things, one of the more important ones related to this life, possibly, or whatever you feel.
Yeah. Maybe I can mention the life on Atlantis.
Absolutely. We have something in common there. I recently discovered that I had a life there too, which I had no idea at first.
Yeah,
So,
many people. I read those information on the Facebook groups and met many people, and they told same thing that they have strong feelings about Atlantis, and mostly those feelings are unconscious and only feelings, sometimes without vision, sometimes with visions, but so they are so strong that people cannot avoid them, cannot put it out, but must think about it and must try to visualize it or try to regression therapy to make it.
yeah, and a lot of that kind of stuff is happening now, I think, for a reason. It's important. So,
Yeah, of
so,
course.
so please go
So
on.
not randomly was Maya prophecy about 2012. So sometimes some people say that there was nothing, but this is not true because in that era started something new, very new for humankind.
Yeah, and what would you call that?
New era. But
Okay.
so,
There's a lot of labels out there for it, but yeah, I
yeah,
agree with you.
and I would add another label
Sure.
because this is related. From my point, my journey is close, not same, but close to gnosis and to Christian mystics way. So therefore, I try to get context of it, this era, about related to Bible and related to Bible stories. So when you read Bible, you can read, you know that the Bible is consists from three parts. So first part is the the Old
Old,
Testament
Old Testament, right?
and New Testament and the vision from John, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, Revelations. Yeah.
Revelations, yeah. So, and these three parts are really important because they um, represent three main evolution era from this humankind. It is
Right.
from maybe 4,000 before Christ till 4,000 after date.
Right.
And
Yeah.
this era is equally divided to three parts. Third part is related to Old Testament, which is roughly from 4,000 till the era of Christ born.
Right.
And the New Testament started with Jesus Christ, not randomly. And this era is finishing in this 21st century. So in this century is starting a new era, and this is era of revelation.
Okay.
And this era will continue till 4,000 after that, and then will be end of the life on this planet, and we will have possibility to go further and go higher as a species, and yeah, that's
So
it.
did you have a Christian upbringing, or were you a Christian background? Were you raised in any particular?
Yeah, I was born like last. I am Protestant. I
Okay.
don't know. Yeah,
Right.
I think
Protestant.
yes. So I was like a Protestant, but I didn't participate actively on the religion. I never felt it is close to me. What was close to me is maybe spirituality and spiritual wisdom together with physical wisdom. So it
Right.
was close to me.
I think I also have a Christian background, and I think the Bible is one of the most misunderstood books out
Yes, I
there.
think, yeah.
So um, I see it mostly as a metaphor for the human experience, and so I thought it was interesting that you described it. And that absolutely shows the evolution of humanity through all of these phases from the lower nature, so to speak, to to the time of Christ, where he's trying to teach the higher things, and now Revelation is the culmination of that, so to speak. So
Yes.
so tell us more about your life in Atlantis, then. if you
Yeah.
would.
So I was born in the end period of Atlantis. It was right before the destruction and during destruction. What is interesting for me is that I have the more lives in the era of destruction. So I have memories to many destruction and many ending eras of this planet. And I was born. Maybe it will be a little bit strange, but I didn't know that. So came up after my 35 in 7 years period when I had actively had more mystical experiences and visions, and actively was working on myself, and from mental side, from spiritual side, did meditations and spiritual energy work. By the way, spiritual energy work is very important for spiritual work and development and growth and awakening. I think it is a necessity.
I agree.
Yeah, and so I remember more and more, and I remember some details from Atlantis, like technology, like different way of scientific development, very different from us. There were many bio-based technologies in that
Okay.
period, and they were much more developed than we are now. And because I was incarnated also on other planets and other universe, I remember, how to say, the edges of technological and spiritual development. So I can compare it with Earth science. And I can say we are only in the early stages of our development.
Right. Okay. I was going to ask you how, if you thought we were heading into similar technology as Atlantis, and how far
No,
along we were. No.
we are on the dead end line. I would say it means that it cannot be continued this way. It will be ended. This scientific approach will be ended, and we have to switch to another line if we want to survive and want to grow as a species.
Okay. Do you think that that's part of our awakening, is so that we'll hopefully change?
Yes,
Change.
because yeah, this is also another information which is too much and too much to say, because we are on the edge of light and darkness.
I see.
So planet Earth is on this edge, and it means that here are incarnated positive beings, light beings, and also incarnated beings from the darkness, which
Right.
means that here is the fight zone, I would say. It is not visible physically, but when are catastrophes and wars, it is visible physically.
I was
You
going to say,
can,
do you feel like our technology has outpaced our spiritual maturity, so to speak?
yes, of course.
Okay. And so we need to dial that back and dial it up on the spiritual side of things to move forward and to change course.
Yes, we need to change course, because it will be ended very badly because of nuclear fusion and reaction. And we were warned many times for spiritual beings and from other planets that this is not good for us. But our leaders lead us this way. And so it is our task, common people, to reach the common sense and get back to common sense, and start working on ourselves. And after our awakening, we can see and we can understand the context, and we can understand that spirituality is nice, but it must be connected with physical side. And also spirituality must be connected the way that not enough to do meditations, not enough to do spiritual work, not enough to do spiritual energies to work with, but we have to actively participate on physical life and actively use the spiritual knowledge and wisdom in physical world. Otherwise, it is not appropriate and not have cannot cause positive growth and development.
Right. Yeah. So in other words, we have to take action too, instead
Yes,
of just meditating and the things
and
that we
speaking
might
about it. Yeah.
and talking about it. Yeah.
Mm.
So I think this is part of the first step. Is there any specific technology from Atlantis that you can describe that you remember in enough detail?
Yeah, many,
Maybe
but
just,
it is hard to describe because we have no physics and scientific basis for speaking about it. So we can describe it from outside, I would say, and we cannot, but we cannot understand it because it is so different from ours. For example, they were able to leave the physical bodies and get back to physical body as souls.
okay.
So they were able to set up a physical body and energy conditions around that the soul could leave this body, freely go to higher worlds and get back and connected tightly to that physical body. And this was also made not only by spirituality but also by technology.
That's really interesting that you bring that up. I was just reading something just yesterday, and I believe it was from a medium or a psychic that was speaking to somebody on the other side, saying that something's going to happen in our future, in our near future, with technology that's going to help accelerate human spirituality and evolution
Yes,
using technology. And I thought that was interesting because I had never heard that before. And now
yes. Mhm.
here you are saying that that's something, sounds like something that they were doing.
And in line in continuous technological growth together with spiritual growth, it would be the way that we can not only get some spiritual information from spiritual world, but we would able to get spiritual schemes and scientific approach to get information from higher realms, because everything what is the from the zero to the edge of most higher technological development, it is already in the higher realms, so it can be download, so to say, downloaded from that realm. But for that we need to also the scientific level, same level, to understand it and to implement it to the physical world. Otherwise, it cannot be implemented. There were many mediums and clairvoyants and people with the psychic abilities, but they only describe these higher things with some basic words and cannot implement it because they have no physical equivalent for that from
Yeah.
scientific approach.
Yeah. Now I've listened to a lot of NDEs and read a lot of books like you, like most of us who are on this journey have done. And I've heard that everything is created on the other side first before it actually comes into the physical.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you agree with that?
Yes.
So do you think that humanity is approaching or headed at least in that direction to create some technology that can help us spiritually? Or nope, not yet, huh? We need to change course first.
Yes.
Okay. So
We
do
need to
you,
change course and we need to go step by step through scientific development, because we cannot implement it until it does not, how to say, reach by our level of scientific
so it sounds like we've
approach.
gone in almost a completely different direction technologically than we should be.
Yes,
You have,
and these technologies are already here. And in past few hundreds years, there were many inventors and researchers who invented and found a solution for many of our problems. Not only Nikola Tesla, but many of others. But those were silenced or killed or silenced. And this technology is hidden from the from the public. But those technologies are known by some people, some politicians, some people from not mentioned people,
Right.
and it could be overtaken to the public, but it is consciously suppressed, and it wait for the another inventors or new era of free speech and free will.
Yeah, I have actually looked into that, and and there's a whole subculture that's looking into that sort of thing and
Mhm.
digging, to try and find uh, some of the secrets, from people like Tesla and so on, and others in that realm. He's not the only one, of course. And there's a lot of people, yeah, that are lot lesser known. In fact, he was a lot lesser known until maybe about 10 or 15 years ago, and he finally starting to get some of the recognition that he deserves. But so that's interesting. So I'm wondering when, if and when some of that stuff is going to start coming forward, because we are, I think, getting into a period where more stuff is coming out, especially on some of the spiritual stuff. And I know a lot of people are aware that technology has been suppressed that could benefit humanity. Any thoughts or on that, on how long it might be before, or any advice on what we can do to help that along?
500 years,
Oh, wow.
but of course, humankind had ups and downs, and this will continue, I think, in the next 500 years.
Okay.
So will be periods of higher development in short period of time, but maybe it will be broken again and started again. But
Yeah. No, that's
new start will be always from the another line. So it is a huge possibility to grow much more faster and much more higher than previously.
so we can kind of build on where we already can build from where we are instead of having to start all over again. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, I have always felt like it's going to be faster than that, but I don't know. That's just my own feeling. But I know from history that humanity often has some sort of a catalyst that causes a leap forward. We go along at this real slow pace for, maybe even thousands of years, and then all of a sudden there's this great some catalyst happens, and it could be something catastrophic to some degree, or wars or whatever, and then we make this great leap forward. And so I'm hoping that something like that may happen. Do you have any thoughts on that sort of thing?
People have free will, so it is up to them how it will looks like. In one of my vision, I had I went very deeply and I saw two possibilities from you for humankind, which is in the next 50 years. One possibility was the awakening of masses, and they taken actions and start to build a new era with new technologies and new state of minds and new state of spirituality. This was one possibility, but this was less probable than the other ones. And the other one was the destruction of this planet. So
So
it is not easy task, and of course these are two edges between. In between can be more possibilities because people have free will, so they can alter this possible future in any way.
and how long ago was that vision approximately?
Ago, maybe 10 years ago.
Maybe 10 years ago.
Mhm.
And you still feel that it's pretty much on the same track as that?
It is worse.
It's worse.
Yes.
We haven't improved any. That's interesting.
It is because the fight is bigger.
Right.
Fight between darkness and light. So to speak, when one side takes a move, the another side takes another move.
A counter move, a countermeasure.
Yeah, counter move. So and the dark side took a move which is very dangerous for this planet. And from this point of view, I said that this is worse. But and this is connected with the physical events which some people were able to taken and how to say, they are became part of plan of darkness for getting this planet, because this planet is on the edge and it is not decided yet if it will stay in the light or go down. And but the light, the higher side, is also taking moves. So it is not only one side, but both sides, and there is a physically not visible fight, and this fight is very strong and very hard, and the mediums and clairvoyants can see it and can feel it. Therefore, started to come the so-called indigo children,
right,
in 60s, 70s, and this was so, I will not say successful, but so important that this was continue later, and the light still tried to send to us much more souls from the light, and also came here huge spiritual masters and teachers from the past, which that have had incarnated and reached a highermost level of development. So they came from the higher, very high realms,
right.
even from the so high realm that people cannot imagine how high it is.
They're here to
And
help.
yeah, so they came to help, but this fight causing that many of these masters forgot their roles and their tasks, so
Okay.
they have to wake up and remember, because
Yeah.
only after that, because this development and light approach cannot be done unconsciously. It must be done consciously with the memories and with the techniques which are very different from the past, which are new, which are very individual also. And thanks to these techniques and actions, the Earth can survive this fight.
All right. Yeah, that's okay. That's interesting. I guess I'm more optimistic than you, but maybe I'm just being naive. I see I've been on this journey probably at least 30 years, probably longer than that, but at least recognized it about 30 years ago. And I do see a mass awakening in various levels, depending on the person, I guess. At least more so, like 10 years ago, this kind of a program or this kind of talk was like very much on the fringes, and now it's starting to come into more mainstream type thing. Do you not see that as really being much progress at all, or?
How to say? I am a little bit disappointed because I can see two main approaches. One is the spiritual awakening of masses, which I would like to say it is the case, but it is not. And another side, it is a mentality side. When 20 years ago, I thought that when people will get more information, then people will recognize the truth and will take actions and everything will be changed. But this is not the case, because people got many information, much more than any time previously, but they were not appropriately taught about analysis and about approaches how to process those information and how to use them. So they are overwhelmed and cannot see the reality behind the curtain.
So making sure I understand you, it sounds like what you're saying is that there's a lot of information and people are waking up on a spiritual level, but they're not taking any action with the knowledge that they've gained.
Like I said, if there is no action, there is no proof and spiritual development. So spiritual development, real spiritual development, not the shallow, esoteric and New Age one,
Right.
needs the actions. There is no possibility avoid no actions, and we will develop to the higher answer to the spiritual master level.
I think some of that comes from religion too, is they're sitting around waiting for somebody to come and save them and take care of everything for them. So what kind of action would you suggest or would you advise that people take who are becoming spiritually awake, enough to understand what's going on and see what's happening? What kind of actions would you advise people to take?
We need to go back, so to said, to the past, maybe 50 years ago, when people were more friendly to each other, more
Okay.
cooperation there were, more family-based togetherness and to get common work. So this was lost, I think, and there was consciously by the dark side, people led to much higher individuality, much higher avoid cooperation, and so on. So this
Yeah,
is the
that's
basic for
that's great.
evolution.
That's great advice. Are you aware that there is a movement in that direction? Part of it is what we call the back to the land movement. People are moving out of the cities and sometimes with several families, and they are helping each other out, and some of it has a spiritual basis to it. Some of it is just wanting to get out of the rat race, but there is quite a movement, and the reason I'm aware of it so much is because it was something that I started doing 30 years ago, growing more of their own food, helping each other build their homes, that kind of thing. Some of it's to the extreme. That's not for everybody, but yeah, helping each other. Even if you live in the cities, being kinder to each other and family and so on and so forth. There is a movement in that direction, but perhaps it's not enough. Too little, too late, maybe.
Yes, you are right, because those are I don't know if shallow is good word for that, but it is not enough,
Mhm.
and it is very random and not organized, not appropriately organized.
Yeah, it is picking up steam though. Like 30 years ago when I was doing it, I was considered, crazy for that and my spiritual beliefs and things. Um, but so is there any other advice that you would give people or is it just basically, hey, get off the couch and start doing something with your spiritual knowledge, start being kinder to people, start treating people as you would want to be treated? That something the ancient wisdom has been trying to teach us for, thousands of years.
It is. It would be very good, but not enough for real change and real basement for spiritual growth. And how to say? I would like to say many things what I have in my mind, but it is hard to say in few words. It is related to state of this planet. It means that there is there is few information about, for example, that Jesus Christ how to save the humanity. So it is some public information about it, but those informations are only from physical side.
Right.
But they were big fights for Earth, for our existence, because 2000 years ago the state of this planet was similar to the this one.
Do you feel that people who are helping the dark side, so to speak, maybe a lot of them may be doing it unaware that they're doing that, thinking they're actually doing something good, and but they're actually helping the dark side along with their
They
agenda?
also in later interviews I can tell more about it, but it is very sensitive information, so for now I will not touch this.
Okay.
But I can say that if you imagine that Earth is like a planet, and around Earth and inside are dark clouds. So the humankind with this killing and war approach and development approach took the whole energy from the planet and didn't give back pure spiritual energy from inside, because this energy we are connected through soul and spirit to our origin, spiritual origin, and our tasks should be one of many, should be the direct this energy to the planet and to ourselves and others. And if you saw the Celestine Prophecy, it is a nice film and nice book.
Right. Yeah.
And there is a
I've
lot
seen
of lot of truth, and the energy between us are working really the way as it is like it is showed in the movie. And we should consciously work with these energies, and this is not the case. We cannot work with these energies, and this knowledge and this technical approach is missing from humankind on the global scale, and therefore we fight to each other. And this is not only about wars or fighting, physical fighting, but we fight on the spiritual level for the spiritual energy to each other. And we take energies from each other and from the planet too. And Jesus saved this planet from the dark clouds, so to say, and purified the earth sphere with his death. And after it, we've got a new, so to say, clear place to grow.
So
the planet was purified, and humankind could survive and grow again. And this lasted for 2,000 years. And now we are the same position. There are also again the dark clouds around Earth and inside Earth, and we need to purify them, and we need to do it in next 30 years. Otherwise, it will be very bad with us.
So what about Jesus coming back again and doing it again? As
no, he will not go back again.
So the scriptures that preach that are incorrect? Then?
No, they are correct.
They preach that he's going to come back again.
It is not about physical level, and will come.
The Christ consciousness, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
Plus, there will come another person, not Jesus.
Right.
But he will have same level of consciousness. But
Yes.
To wait for them is very childish, because we are on the level that revelation is starting, and we should work on ourselves the way that in the next 30 years we should get this level too.
Yeah, some of the ancient wisdom teaches that Jesus and the Christ are not the same entity, so to speak. Mm-hmm. The Tibetan from the Alice Bailey books and the Theosophy and some of that stuff teaches that too.
If I can say some heresy.
Oh, so by all means, we're all about that here.
Yeah. So I didn't mention Bible and 3 parts of Bible randomly, because before incarnation, almost every soul is taught in a school, so to say, and we were taught how to spiritually fight, what techniques, what methods we can use for our spiritual development, grow, awakening, what we can use to help other people. Those techniques are so unique and so individual that almost every person on this planet carry the individual version of these techniques, and they should. The problem with spiritual awakening is that it is highly individual.
Right.
So it cannot be done the way that people go to school and will learn some common stuff like templates and will use it. but they have to work on their own individual awakening. Of course, there can be teachers and masters to help with, but every journey is highly individual. There are some common rules and common stages, and for these stages can prepare the people, but people must do it individually, must take this journey individually.
I agree.
And only time to time they can ask for help, and when they are stuck, for example, then they can be helped, but otherwise they must take action and must go by their own.
Do you have like a specific type of meditation or ritual,
Yes.
anything that you recommend?
I went through such development, grow, and awakening, and developed my own techniques, which can be used by people for spiritual awakening. And I taught it in the spiritual school for 10 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from 2007 to 2017 roughly, but locally in Slovakia.
Right.
There were many points which caused me disappointment, and I ended up with these teachings, and I decided to never teach people again because many points. For example, people were not be able to reach next stages of evolution individually, and this is only first step before spiritual growth and development. So this is very, very, or was very hard to make because of earthly conditions and many things from the past, and also society was not open, and so on and so on. So many causes, but there were also some illnesses and death because of this old approach, and it was very sad to see that our students were misled by family or friends. They had no bad intention, but all the thinking and all the approach and all mentality caused that, for example, a person, 20 years old boy, who was able, after 3 years of individual development, was able to communicate with the spiritual world, the form that he called it fantasy, but he was able to see same way like you see me or I see you in the physical world. He was able to see and communicate with the spiritual world and talk to his spiritual guidance, to angels, to different stages of spiritual beings, and to different levels of existence. And after this all, what happened to him and what he had to be convinced that this is the reality, he was not sure. And I told him that he cannot speak about it to no one because he was surrounded people with old mentality and materialistic and atheistic approach. But he started to speak about it. So his family and friends convinced him that this is only fantasy and this is very dangerous because it is against Christianity and so on. So he was taken to the hospital, to the mental hospital. It is, sorry, I forgot this name.
Yeah, the psych ward or the mental hospital, yeah.
Yeah, and you know about electroshocks. This is old approach when some people are shocked by electricity.
Oh, wow. Really?
So
shock
they
therapy?
shock therapy.
How long ago was this?
I don't know, I know only the Slovak language. So it's a shock therapy or shock
Therapy, yeah.
electricity shock or something like this.
Yeah.
It's with electricity.
Right.
So the brain is resetted, but the side effects is the losing memories, losing mind, losing common sense, and so on.
And approximately how long ago did this happen?
20 years ago, almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, see that's crazy that even just 20 years ago, stuff like that could still happen.
Yes.
So Yeah, I hear you. I think we've moved beyond that, hopefully, in at least in most societies. I've heard of
I
people
hope.
yeah. So let me ask you this: is there any positive message that you can leave us with humanity as we approach the end of this?
Yes, of course. Like I said, from my own example, I went through this all levels of existence with my development, because when I started in 2003, after a month, I started to see some strange light inside me. So in meditation, I started to see, I didn't know back then, but later I realized it is our energy body or our energy bodies. So what is described in Eastern philosophy or East philosophy like energy bodies, it is description of reality. We have energy bodies inside us and around us. Those are outer and inner spiritual and eternal bodies, which are from the levels of different substances through which pure spiritual seed started to incarnate down through level of lower spirituality and nature being level and fine matter world. I used the term from the book In the Light of the Truth, wrote by Abdrushin, because this description is so clear and so to close to my experiences. So I divided later creation from the physical realm to the higher spiritual realms, the way that the lower creation is the gross matter world. It is because gross matter world is consist from substance which is matter based, and this realm is consist from three parts. The lower one is the physical world, physical worlds, because there are many universes, many physical realities, and those physical worlds are inside the so-called ethereal sphere. And here comes the ancient legends about turtle which flowing in the water, and this water is the ethereal realm. It's another substance in which
Ethereal. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, inside which is the physical world.
Right.
So around us and inside us is that level, because higher realms penetrate the lower ones, but not merge with these lower ones. So there is sometimes some way of connection, but it is not merging. And for example, the quantum level, what is so many times and so overused by esoteric and new age people, this quantum realm is only the edge between physical and ethereal. Is nothing high spiritual or far away from the physical. It is only on the edge. And higher, later, after maybe 100 years or dozens of years, they will come new Nikola Tesla, will invent new research, new so-called quantum level. It will be called another way, another word, and it will be again overused by esoteric and new age community in that era. So it is normal, I think, but we need to know that it is not the end. It is only the starting point of something higher, something bigger than physical one. And what is important, yeah, I started with the realms to have the rough overview about it. And next level is the fine matter level, which is above the gross matter level. But it can be imagined like, do you know the Russian matryoshka? Little dolls inside.
Yes. Yes.
So the whole reality seems like this one, like many matryoshka inside. another matryoshkas.
Many levels.
So, yeah, many levels, yes. So the levels are not only above us, but around us and inside us also. And because we have these so-called energy bodies from those levels, all levels from the spiritual realm, when spiritual seed is going down and down and down through these levels, and this seed can go through development and grow only when he is incarnated to those lower levels. So the incarnation is not only to the physical level, but through the all levels of existence. And therefore, we have those levels inside us, and we are better than any physical apparatus, any physical machine, because those machines can only detect direct or indirect energies from the physical world and the edge or next ethereal world, but not from higher worlds. But people can do it because after a period of awakening, this is the real journey for people in physical world. Our task is to grow and go through awakening, because after that, only after that, we can integrate to ourselves the higher levels, and only after that we can use the information and wisdom from these levels,
Right.
and we can use it on this planet for good. And this is the message from the humanity, that when humanity will take action and will go through this development, spiritual development, awakening and grow, then here can be the era of heaven on earth. And it is in the Bible, exactly.
Yes.
It is in Revelation. So it is a period which is ahead of us. When I tried to get more information about it, I got information that it will start after 2500. But before this era, like I said, ups and downs and repeating cycles of destructions and awakening and new growth. This heaven of earth must be done in the little cube, at first by individuals,
Right.
and later by bigger and bigger groups.
Collectively, yeah.
Yeah, collectively.
So keep pushing forward no matter what, right?
Yes, we need to go forward, and we have to know that there is no end. So if I reach the level which is above me, for example, I experienced the Savikalpa Samadhi, if you know
Yes.
this world. In the last year, November 5th, I was able to reach this level for 3 hours.
Wow.
And it's preceded a very interesting events before it, some miracles, because I was saved by spiritual masters and some beings like dragons. But
Like
this is another story.
Like dragons?
Yes, dragons,
We'll
Chinese dragons.
We'll have to have you on again to talk about some of those stories.
Yeah, so it is really interesting. And in 2005, when I was invited to speak about our huge creation and our existence, and it was planned for 1 hour. I planned it for 1 hour, and my presentation should be about some rough basic knowledge about that. During this presentation, 1 hour long, I've got, because I've taken action, like I said, because I started to speak before audience, before dozens of people, which was unusual for me because I am introvert. I was shy person, and I couldn't speak with more than 2 or 3 people at once without psychic problems.
Yeah.
And those were eliminated. And so I started to speak before this audience. And during the speech, I started to shake. My physical body started to shake, and I started to feel my energy bodies. And through that, I was connected to the higher realms, to the spiritual, our spiritual origin. And from that level of existence, it was like Saharaj Samadhi, I think. I tried to find the term for that, and this
Right.
term is maybe the closer one.
Yeah, Samadhi, I guess,
And
is considered by some as enlightenment.
yes, and this this was very strange state of mind. It was nothing what I experienced before. And during this period, what was interesting, I started to get all information what I was asking for, but not in form of channeling or in form of words, but in form of complex energies and energy packages, energies which were immediately unpacked and get to my mind.
Okay.
So I could extend my presentation to 5 hours long presentation immediately. Nobody left the room. It was interesting. 5 hours, people said they were sitting and look at me with open mouth. It was really interesting. And I was able to speak about creation in details, more details than I thought previously. And many information was revealed for me.
You have a recording of that somewhere?
No.
Oh, it's too bad.
I was very surprised by this event because I didn't experience such level of. I didn't was aware that spiritual level can be connected to the physical body in this way. So it was very surprised to me, and the challenging was that Savikalpa Samadhi lasted for 3 hours, and this Saharat Samadhi lasted for 24 hours.
Wow.
And in this, it was like calmness, silence, but I could thinking, I could speak, I could do my everyday work, but I was in the very different state of, it was not only mind, but whole physical body.
So this is what you mean by taking action.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is example how to take action and where to get people, where can get people to which state, because these states are like, there are no, you have no doubts about anything. You have, it is knowing, you know what is it, you know in details. When you have, you must have a physical mentality. For example, if you are
scientist or
scientist, sorry, yes. When you are scientist and you have knowledge about nuclear fusion, then suddenly you have information not about nuclear fusion, but other related stuff, even higher stuff, and cold fusion, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Whatever you ask, you will get.
Next level stuff. It's been a pleasure talking to you. We could go on for 5 hours, I'm sure. But I'll have you back and we'll get into some more of this stuff for right now. Are you open to people contacting you? And if so, where would you like them to contact you?
Yeah, people can contact me through my webpage, innerway.academy.
Okay.
Or through my YouTube page.
Okay, we'll link those. We'll link those in the description of the video when it gets.
Innerway Academy, yeah, same name.
So, any parting messages you want to leave with the audience?
I think audience need to learn how to do personal and spiritual development and take action, spiritual action and physical action, and after that there will be really huge changes on this planet.
Fantastic, great message. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Appreciate you taking the time to come on.
Thank you very much.
And like I said, we'll have you on again because there's a lot of rabbit holes there that we can go down, as they say. And so it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you so much.